Hey everyone, welcome to Average Joe Preparedness. As always, my name's Rick, and I'm an average Joe. Now before we get started, I want to go over two things real quick. First one is, it was brought to my attention in my last video, I wasn't looking so good. Well, that's because less than a week ago I had surgery. I'm still feeling it, but I hope you understand. I think the information I'm putting on these videos is important. So I'm trying to do the best I can, try to get it out there to you because I checked the news this morning and yeah, the world's still falling apart. So it's not going to get any better. So need to get this information out there for you. The second thing, what we're going over in this video is it's a simple thing. We're going to be changing out a water filter on a refrigerator. It's for the water that you get out the door and your ice cubes and stuff. We're going to be changing out one of those filters. Simple. And disclaimer, I am not a professional at anything except my life. So all I know is what I know. So that's it, my life. So this is all for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. But what I want you to focus on is not changing out the filter. It's going to be, I hope, knock on wood, it's going to be simple. But what it is it's the mindset, the thought process, the financial process behind it I want you to focus on. That's the key, is that preparedness mindset, that financial, how we do it and why we do it, these things, that's what I want you to focus on. What I'm doing, it's not that big of a deal. But please, try to focus on that. I'm sure this isn't the first time you've ever seen this, maybe not, but when the filter in your refrigerator water filtration system is either 6 months old, depending on the model of your fridge, is 6 months old, 300 gallons goes through it, or if it has a reverse pressure, each refrigerator is different, you're going to get this, that little light right there. It says water filter. And mine is obviously orange and red, which means basically you need to change it out. Now, when this happens, what you think and what you do is important. Now we're going to go back out to the garage, I'm going to get some supplies, and we're going to talk about that. Boom, and here we are, back out in the garage. Now, the supplies I'm going to get are simple. Back here in the garage, I got this little box, and I'm going to cut this open. But inside it, there's going to be 2 water filters for the refrigerator. Now I keep the water filters on hand. I have them all the time. It doesn't matter. Why? Because the water filter needs to be changed on the refrigerator. And that's what we're going to talk about, is what you do, what you think, and why. Now, the water filter on the refrigerator is going to get clogged every 6 months, every 10 months, 12 months. Again, it depends on your refrigerator. If you have water, a lot of refrigerators do, some still don't, not judging. But the question is, what is your mindset towards it? Is your mindset that, well, I'm going to handle it when it happens, I'm going to put it off, okay, I don't know what your mindset is, but we're going to go over what my mindset is. A preparedness mindset for the average Joe, for the average person. A filter needing to be changed on a refrigerator, that's a pretty average thing. That's what average people go through. But it's the mentality behind it. Now I know it's going to happen. So I have filters on hand so I don't have to panic. They're right here. I actually have 2. The reason behind that is that I did a little research on those filters because I spent a little bit of my time, and as we've talked about before, that's my value, that's my commodity, is my time. I spent some of my time doing a little research. And I found out if I was to order the part from the manufacturer, doesn't matter who it is, that one filter is going to cost me right at $50 plus shipping and handling plus tax. $50, guys. I don't know about you, but $50, that's a chunk of change. So I got online and I looked around. I looked around for replacement parts that meet the OEM standard, which is the manufacturer's standard. And I found these. Now, this isn't the first time I've ordered these. I've been ordering these for a couple of years now. But every time I go to order them again, they're on my Amazon. I'm not trying to plug Amazon, but I use them to get this. And so what I do is I get that, bring it back up again. There they are, the parts that I ordered. And then I do a couple more minutes of research to see if another product's been put out in the 6 months or a year. Actually, I have 2 filters, a year or more since the last time I ordered them, that's better, that's more, that's inexpensive, or that has a shorter supply chain. And we'll get to that in a second. So I have my 2 parts, my 2 filters. I'm going to take one out. Boom. Doesn't matter who it is. I'm going to put the other one back. And then I'm going to grab some paper towels, which is probably the only thing I'm going to need, which I may not need to change out this water filter. And we're going to go ahead and go back inside and get this thing changed out real fast. It's not going to take that long, knock on wood. But supply chain. If you haven't paid attention to what's been going on over the last 6 months or more, shortening your supply chain. Anytime the world goes to heck, which it seems to be doing now, or with the coronavirus, whatever, shortening your supply chain. If you don't understand what that means, it's getting stuff closer to you. Either really local, city, state, whatever. In the United States versus getting something from overseas, you need to lower your supply chain. You need to shrink it. You need to shorten it down. It's common sense if you take a second to look at it, because there were a lot of things that couldn't be bought recently because of problems with the supply chain. Shorten your supply chain, please. Now, some of you may have said, when you saw the light come on my fridge, or maybe on your own, pshaw, it's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna put it off. I'll wait. I'm not gonna use it, whatever. Okay, but a quick look on the internet will tell you that if you don't change out the filter when it says to, there's a potential to build up toxins and bacteria. Now, initially, what those will do is they'll change the taste of the water. Eventually, though, they have the potential of making your water unhealthy. Now, you may say, well, I'm just not going to use it. I'm going to get the filter later on. I'm not going to use this anymore. The ice cubes go through the same filter. So it's still going to happen. Your fridge is still making ice. Unless you turn that off too. If you want to keep going with it, eventually, I don't know if you've ever seen it, where the water flow gets a little reduced. Well, it causes a back pressure in your lines. None of this leads to anything good. When the light comes on, you should change out the filter. Now, I'm going to walk you through how to change out the filter. Again, disclaimer, I'm not an expert, but it is basically, it's pretty simple. So let's check it out. Filter, wrapped in plastic. Doesn't really matter who it is, the manufacturer of the filter, as long as it's within specifications. Dinner. I pull off the plastic. Doing this on camera, we'll see what happens. On the top of it, it has a little seal. Remove before use. See how difficult this can be. Take it off. And now, I'm going to take you inside my fridge. What do you say? Come on, let's go. Now, more than likely, your refrigerator is going to look different than mine. Everybody's got their own. But basically, most water filters are located in the back right corner. Now, to change it out, it's fairly simple. I usually take a paper towel when I go to do this. Now, it supposedly has a shutoff valve that when you remove the filter, it shuts the water flow off. However, I trust nothing. So there's a good potential there's going to be a little water leakage. If it's a bad water leakage, I'm just going to tighten this back down. And there we go. A little tight. New water filter. I don't know if you could hear that filling up with water. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is about it. Fairly simple. Now that we're out of the fridge, it was cold. Anyways, I'd like to point out that I'm not editing my videos, and that how long it took to get that filter out is how long it took. I'm actually trying to show people reality, not an edited version of this is how it should be. Remember what we said about should, would, and could? Is and are is what I'm working on. So that actually happened, and it wasn't that difficult, I think, in the end. But you're actually seeing it. The last thing we need to do, two things. Number one, we need to reset that button. It says reset, hold for 3 seconds. Boom. Looks like we're good to go. The next thing is, poof, magic. I'm going to go ahead and run the water and try to get any air that's in the filter, in the system. First, we'll change it to water. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you do it. Air in the system. Now I'm going to run a second glass of water. Just to be on the safe side. And finally, I'm going to clean up my little bit of spillage here. And then I'm going to check back on the inside of the fridge and make sure that that new filter isn't leaking. All right. Water's wiped down, looked inside, no leakage from the new filter. Looks like we're about done here. Let's head back out to the garage and finish up this video. Whew. Back out here in the garage. Now somebody might say, hey Rick, you should edit your videos down and make them look more professional, not with the water spilling and the hard time getting the filter off. And well, see, once again, I'm an average Joe. And I'm just trying to show people what things really are like so that an average person can do it, that they have the confidence to do it. Once again, how to do your individual refrigerator, you can either find it in the owner's manual, and you can probably find a really good video, way more professional than mine, out on YouTube, out on the internet somewhere. But I'm just trying to show people how things actually are. Now, if you watch this video, and you said, hey Rick, I mean, that was low professional video, changing out a filter, it's not that big of a deal. What the heck does this got to do with being a prepper or being prepared or having that preparedness mindset? Well, we're gonna go back over it for those who may have missed what the actual lessons were. Let's start off with the price. As I said earlier, the filter from the manufacturer cost, it's like $49.99. Plus tax and shipping, and to get that filter changed out approximately every 6 months. As I mentioned, I went out on the internet. I've got these filters here, which I've just used one. They come in a pack of 2. The difference is that costs $27 for 2. And I get free shipping, you know, Amazon, you get that thing. So that's $27 plus tax. I think it came to like $28 and change, something along those lines. Versus $50+. So almost half the price for twice the product. Now some people might say, well, it's not worth my time. I'm just gonna go, I'm just gonna buy the filter from the manufacturer. I'm gonna pay the $50+. Okay, good on you. However, you're missing the point. Me exchanging money, and that's all it is a means of exchange. I earned that money. And I want to keep it. I would rather pay myself. See, the money I'm saving, I'm paying me versus paying someone else. Point number 2, there's probably going to be a few, is if you noticed, I had the parts on hand. And that's something about being prepared, being a prepper, having preps. It's all encompassing. You can't just say, well, I got me some water, and I've got, some dry food and a couple candles, I'm prepped, I'm good to go. Okay, and you very well may be, but that's not the point that I'm trying to get across. What I'm trying to get across is that for ordinary people, you need to be prepared for as many contingencies in your everyday life as you can. You will find that it becomes a habit, a way of thinking, in which case you naturally become prepared. The next point, I think we're at 3, is doing things yourselves. Now, this may seem like a simple task, but I did it. Some people, they may believe it's beyond them. Some people, it may be beyond them. I don't see how that's possible, but it is possible. And that's another thing about preparedness, about being a prepper, about having that mindset, that lifestyle, is doing it yourself, being more independent. Now, I can't make these filters, but I can research and I can find the most inexpensive filters with the best value, with the longest life, with the shortest supply chain. Remember, we talked about that. That's what I can do. That's how I think. And I try to think that about everything. And eventually, so will you. So, highlights: doing it yourself, saving money, which is paying yourself, and having foresight and having parts on hand for things that are reoccurring. Because this isn't the first time the little filter lights come on. And I'm sure if you have a fridge like this, if the light hasn't come on, it's going to. And you should be prepared for that. All right, let's wrap this up. For those of you watching this video, for those of you who stuck around through this whole thing, I just want to thank you. If you got something out of this video, if you liked it, if it was somewhat informative, or if nothing else entertaining, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, if you haven't already, if you want to share it, if there's somebody else that, who knows, the little light's on in their fridge saying the filter needs to be changed. Or if you just want to get other people besides yourself to start thinking like this, please go ahead and share the video. If you've got any comments, try to keep them constructive, please. Put them down in the comment section. And if you've got something, else that you want me to do a little video on, I've got a whole bunch of things, again, that I do around my house, little things that I'm going to be showing you. Not so much to show you how they're done. I want to show you that they can be done by an average person, just a normal guy or girl, anybody can do it. Maybe pretty much everybody can do it, But it's more along the lines of the mentality behind it, the why, the how. That's what's important. That's to get the preparedness mindset. That's for the average person to be prepared, to be a prepper, to have preps, to be ready for what life gives you. Until next time, my name's Rick, and I'm an average Joe. Be happy, be positive, and be prepared.